Mamta will explain the next verse. Mamta, please.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Yatav pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddham vindati manavaha. The literal meaning of this verse is, from whom arises the origin of all beings, by which this entire creation is pervaded, having worshipped that, through his duty, the person attains perfection. The shloka talks about the three factors that aid in converting our actions or karma into worship. The first one is karma, the attitude towards our action. The second is karma phalam, the consequences of every action. And lastly, karma phala data, which is the determining factor for the result of every action. Shri Krishna says that we should submit the performances of our duty or our karma as an offering to Ishvara. Once we look upon the karma or our duty as an offering to the Lord, this duty or karma will be done with passion and enjoyment, which will result in better quality outcomes. We should also learn to accept the outcomes of karma with the right attitude of prasada from the Lord. In essence, there should be arpana bhavana in karma and prasada bhavana in karma phala. This lifestyle, which includes the combination of proper actions plus proper attitude, is karma yoga. This will put us on the right path in the pursuit of truth. However, lack of this attitude towards karma and its result will make us just performing our duty for the sake of doing it, and will always compel us to critically analyze the merits and demerits of duty. This will further trap us in the cycle of samsara. We worship God in the puja room, temples, etc. But we should be aware that Lord is not location specific, but the Lord is an all-pervading thought. The Lord is the source of origin of all the things and beings, the intelligent cause, like the potter of a clay pot. He is also the material cause, the stuff by which everything is created, like the clay in a clay pot. In short, he is the cause of universe, the Jagat Karanam. This is what is meant by Yataha Pravartir Bhutanam and Yena Sarvamidam Tatam in the verse. The intelligence or life, the Chetana Tattvam, pervades our body. Similarly, the entire material cosmos is pervaded by an intelligent, formless principle, or simply put, the Ishvara or the Lord. Once we develop the awareness that the entire cosmos is the harmony of Ishvara, we look at the Lord in many forms. One of them is our Ishtadevata, which is a representative, a symbol for the formless, organizing intelligence. Just as we appreciate formless love, a sensitive mind can sense a formless thing. That is called transcending the form. Swamiji says that we should work towards sensitizing the mind to appreciate the formless intelligence. We have to visualize offering to formless intelligence in whatever actions we do through devotion. Offering of our actions to Ishvara takes away the sense of doership, karta bhava, and enjoyership, the bhokta bhava, the pursuit of actions driven by likes and dislikes. Swamiji goes on to elaborate that we should learn to look upon the Lord as the order in the universe. Appreciate the order, sensitize our mind to see the Lord everywhere. Then the whole universe becomes a temple. And thereafter, for your worship, you do not require a special temple, no offering of flowers, asanas, or any sacred place. The Bhagavan is present everywhere. As this shloka concludes, the Lord reiterates that in every duty of ours, everything you do, make it as an offering to the Lord. Tam abhyarchya swakarmanaha in the verse. Make it a learning experience from every karma phalam. This will result in siddhim vindati manavaha, that is a refined and a purified person. Thank you, sir. Hari Om.
Thank you, Mamta, for again another nice explanation of this verse. We've been studying Karma Yoga from the second chapter and the third chapter. We experienced a higher level of karma yoga in the 4th and the 5th chapter, where karma was taught as inaction and action. And finally, in the 18th chapter, we are seeing it in another summary, but our understanding of karma now becomes so much more deeper. The original principles of Ishwararpana Bhava, Prasada Bhava, inaction and action is the same, but our understanding with each explanation of the 18th chapter now becomes much more deeper. And this is so important because all of us do karma all the time, and Krishna is trying to give us a sense of a sadhana or a yajna and whatever we're doing, particularly our swadharma. Dr. Meenal, please.
Hari Om. Now, it is a normal human tendency to compare whether it is situations or even possessions like dress or jewelry or house or even our professions. So the other's possessions or profession always seems to be nicer and better. So for a Kshatriya, the other three swadharmas, that is Brahmana, Vaishya or Shudra, may seem better. With this background, let us read verse number 47 of chapter 18. श्रेयान् स्वधर्मे विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वभावनियतं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्. So Shreyan Swadharme, your profession is the best for you. So we should not compare or change it. We must learn to enjoy our work. Vigunaha here stands for unrefined, imperfect or improper. So even though we may not be perfect right now in the work that we do or in the profession that we are doing, there is always a scope for improvement. Paradharmat, than others' duty, than others' profession. Swanushthitat, properly performed. So the first line means our own profession or duty called as swadharma here, even though it may be performed imperfectly or improperly, is still better than others' profession or swadharma. As Shreyan Swadharme, your profession is perhaps the best for you. Now let us see the second line. Swabhavaniyatam karma kurvan. Doing duty, that is swadharma, as is determined by one's nature, that is, one should take to a profession either in keeping with our inclination, that is interest, or in keeping with the hereditary, that is as it used to be in the olden days. By doing so, no apnoti kilbisham, one does not incur sin. So the second line means doing duty as is determined by one's nature does not incur sin. This is because certain swadharmas or professions may involve himsa. For example, if someone's profession is being a hangman, or somebody is entrusted with the task of injecting a lethal injection for criminals who are sentenced to death, or perhaps somebody may be in the line of police duty or armed forces duty, these professions are going to involve some amount of himsa and violence. Similarly, Arjuna's swadharma was required warring and killing his own family, elders, and even his guru. But Sri Krishna says, even after doing so, Arjuna will not incur any sin. Kilbisham na apnoti. This is because the motive here was not violence or war, but it was following swadharma for dharma rakshanam. So the gist of the verse is that each profession has its pluses and minuses, merits and demerits. The grass always appears to be greener on the other side. So we should accept our swadharma, that is the profession that we have chosen. One must learn to enjoy it, work cheerfully, and keep on improving or refining ourselves so as to avoid stagnation. Only then can we excel in our swadharma. Thank you very much. Hari Om.
Thank you, Dr. Meenal. That was a nice explanation. Dr. Sanjay, please.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good evening to all of you. In the introduction to this verse, which is the 48th verse of 18th chapter, the information so far obtained from the previous verses conveys the meaning that everybody has obtained some form of karma as a subhava. Sambharambha is the word used there, which needs to be performed with Ishvara Arpana Bhava, and no karma is inferior or superior, as Meenal already expressed from the 47th verse. And there also may be some dosha in the karma. For example, the army man has to fight and kill. And here, as Minal also said, the Arjuna's karma was to fight a war as a Kshatriya and kill. But here, those who were killed were his kith and kins. And the whole Bhagavad Gita started from there, from that delusional state of Arjuna where the Vijnana or the Jnana is being given. The Jnana is being imparted by Lord Krishna. So the verse goes like this: Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi na tyajet sarvaramba hi doshena dhumenagni ari vavrata. O kaunteya, O Arjuna, api sadosham. Dosham means defect. So although there is defect in all the karmas, one should not give up. Na tyajet sahajam karma, the inborn duty, because all duties, sarvarambha, are avrata. Avrata means, which is the word dhumenagni avrata, are surrounded by some defect. For example, as the fire is surrounded by the smoke. O Arjuna, though defective, one should not give up the inborn duty, for all duties are surrounded by defect as fire by smoke. So what it means is, let me just elaborate it again, that everybody is born with some swabhava, where the word used here is swadharma. What work or profession one gets may also have some inherent problems. As well as sometimes a person may lose interest in his work over a period of time. The meaning of sadoshamapi is that the doshas in the karma, sarvaramba, all karmas have some dosha. Sahaja karmam na tyajet. You may not give up your karma, swadharma, despite all the karmas, because they are avrata, they have some defect. And the example here given is the defect of fire being surrounded by smoke. So the meaning here is that, which is being sort of conveyed from the previous verses, that you may continue to do your work with Ishvara Arpana Bhava and Ishwar Prasada with right attitude. That becomes the Karma Yoga. And if you do your karma with that attitude, even if the karma or action which you are doing is associated with some defect, you should not leave that. And that is the education given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse. Hari Om Sir.
Sanjay, another very nice explanation and inspirational for us to be able to do our best in our particular profession. Vishwanath, please.
Yeah, Hari Om. This is the last verse in the section of Karma Yoga. First, let us look at the verse. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spraha naiskarmya siddhim paramam sanyasena adhigacchati. Literal meaning of the verse: one who has self-mastery, whose intellect is detached from everything, and who is free from desires, attain the supreme goal of actionless through renunciation. So in this last verse, in the section of Karma Yoga, Lord Krishna clarifies that purification of the mind through Karma Yoga is only an intermediary milestone. Our end goal, or the self-knowledge, is our ultimate destination. In this verse, Lord Krishna lists three characteristics of a person who has reached the stage of renunciation to realize his true nature. His intellect is asakta, means it is unattached from all objects, people, and situations. He is able to do so because he is jitatma, means he has fully conquered his mind. It does not get agitated or excited by external stimuli. Thirdly, the mind does not feel the need for to act in this world because it is devoid of sprahaha or desires. So the two questions comes to our mind here. One is, what is the result of karma yoga way of life? Up to which stage will karma yoga take a person, and beyond that stage, what should a karma yogi do? Here we must recall that karma yoga will result in mental preparation, sadhana chatustaya sampatti, and chitta shuddhi, but not liberation. Also, karma yoga can never give self-knowledge by itself. Therefore, asakta buddhi sarvatra means need to detach our intellect from everything. With the attitude of non-attachment to external things, the karma yogi gradually discovers that world is neither a source of joy or sorrow. If the external possessions are source of happiness, the rich would have always been happy and the poor would have been always unhappy. We all know that this is untrue from our experience. If the world is not a cause of sorrow or joy, then only the other cause is me. Vedanta says that when I have the misunderstanding of my real nature, I becomes the cause of sorrow. When I properly understand my nature, I becomes the source of joy. Therefore, to convert sorrow to joy, one has to only identify himself with the understood I. This is called self-knowledge. To get a clearer understanding of my real nature, one has to do many years of karma yoga. The accomplished karma yogi is vigarta sprahaha, means free of desires. He is neither attached to the present setup or he wishes to crave for the new one in the future. He becomes a master of his body, mind, sense complex, BMS. Through renunciation, he reaches the ultimate goal of moksha. According to our tradition, sannyasa is the lifestyle which is designed for Vedantic inquiry or jnana yoga. If a grahastha pursues jnana yoga, this systematically is also called sannyasi. Moksha is called naishkarmya siddhi. The literal translation of this word is the state of being actionless. This does not mean that you give up all the actions, but the knowledge that I am not the changing body, mind, sense complex, but I am the actionless consciousness which blesses all the activities of body, mind, sense complex. Through this verse, Krishna concludes that one should not end with karma yoga, and he influences to pursue jnana yoga to attain liberation. Finally, Lord Krishna says, jnana yogena naishkarmya siddhim paramam, which is the ultimate destination. Purification of the mind is only intermediary milestone. Self-knowledge is our ultimate destination. Hari Om.
Thank you, Vishwanath, for another nice presentation. If you're ready to answer a question, Vishwanath, what is the meaning of the word Naishkarmya Siddhim?
Without any selfish desires.
Naishkarmya Siddhim, you have only mentioned it. It means moksha.
Yeah.
So when a person does, when a jnani does action, he is in action, in action. And the question now is open to everybody else. I mean, although our presentation is not over, there is a famous book on this topic, Naishkarmya Siddhim. And if somebody can tell me who is the author of Naishkarmya Siddhim?
Sureshwara Acharya.
Absolutely right. Who's Sureshwara Acharya?
He is Shankara's direct disciple.
Correct. So Naishkarmya Siddhim is supposed to be a very advanced scriptural text by Sureshwara Acharya. This word Naishkarmyam comes earlier in the Bhagavad Gita. Can you somebody tell me in which chapter this comes? Naishkarmyam. And there it is specifically for moksha. You will not be able to attain Naishkarmyam. Okay, we'll go to it a little later. We have one more presentation now. Jyoti is not able to do it, so Chetana will do this presentation. With this, we have come to the end of, with the previous presentation by Vishwanath, we have come to the end of the Karma Yoga summary. Now, Krishna begins to start the summary of the Jnana Yoga part in the 18th chapter, which comes again and again, and one more detailed summary. Chetana, please.
Gurubhyo Namaha. So from verse 41 to 49, Krishna has essentially repackaged Karma Yoga as swadharma. And as we heard Vishwanath in the 49th verse, Krishna says that just doing Karma Yoga is not enough, because it just brings about Chitta Shuddhi. And we have to go into Jnana Yoga to attain liberation. He uses the word sannyasena in the 49th verse, which means from Karma Yoga, which is the pravritti marga, we have to go into nivritti marga, that is renunciation, as it is conducive for Vedanta Vichara, which is the crux, the main thing in Jnana Yoga. So Krishna has already discussed Jnana Yoga throughout in the Bhagavad Gita from the 2nd chapter onwards. But just like Karma Yoga, he condenses Jnana Yoga here also. Now, why does he do this? Because Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are the two central sadhanas without which there is no hope for liberation. So now Jnana Yoga consists of 3 stages. We all know that: Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. Just for our benefit itself, what is Shravanam? It is consistent and systematic study of Vedantic scriptures for a length of time under a guidance of a competent teacher. Mananam is doing our homework, going over and recollecting the teaching and clarifying all our doubts. Once you are doubt-free, only then we can go into the next stage, that is Nididhyasanam, which is dwelling upon the teaching so that it becomes second nature to us. I have to internalize the teaching. I have to regularly practice and claim my real nature. Now, this requires time. Why? Because we have to meditate upon this teaching that I am the consciousness principle who is transacting through this body. It just doesn't come naturally. We have to meditate upon it. Therefore, Krishna says, set aside some quality time for Vedantic meditation, during which time we mentally become a sannyasi. During Vedantic meditation, or it's called as Nididhyasanam, we temporarily drop our various roles as father, mother, spouse, employer, etc., become a Vedantic seeker and dwell upon our real nature. Swamiji gives an example to stress the importance of Vedantic meditation. When you add sugar to your coffee, if you don't stir it, coffee won't be sweet, no matter how much sugar you add. So adding of sugar should be followed by mixing. Both are very important. So the process of Shravanam is like adding sugar. Mananam is the spoon, and Nididhyasanam is when we mix it, we get the desired result. Therefore, without Shravanam, Nididhyasanam is impossible, and without Nididhyasanam, Shravana is incomplete. So from this verse 50 to up to 55, Krishna is highlighting the importance of Nididhyasanam, or the Vedantic meditation, which he has elaborately discussed in the 6th chapter. So the verse goes like this: Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tatha apnoti nibodha me samasena eva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya ya paraha. So Krishna says here, Siddhim praptihi. A seeker attains siddhi, that is purity of mind. He has got jnana yogyata or sadhana chatustaya sampati through karma yoga. And by practicing, one gets Vedantic, practicing karma yoga, one gets Vedantic qualification to take up jnana yoga. Now, through Jnana Yoga, he attains Brahman. Brahma apnoti. The seeker comes to know that whatever he is seeking is available inside him and not outside. He gives the knowledge that peace, security, and happiness is within him only. And through Jnana Yoga, this becomes second nature. As a result, he attains Jnana Nishta. This means that whenever this jnani faces a crisis, sorry, faces a crisis or a problem, the Vedantic wisdom that he has attained is easily accessible to him. Thereby, he is able to handle all problems without any undue stress. In a crisis, I should be able to move from saying what to so what very quickly. Krishna says through Jnana Yoga, one attains Brahman and Jnana Nishta. Both are essentially the same. Therefore, he says, Samasena nibodhame. Hey Kaunteya, hey Arjuna, I shall tell you how through Jnana Yoga one will attain Jnana Nishta. I will tell you briefly. This he then elaborates in the subsequent 5 verses. Hari Om. Thank you.
So thank you, Chaitanya, for giving us a very nice summary of Jnana Yoga, which will be elaborated in the next few verses. With that, we come to the end of the 6 verses for this class. And as we have been having this practice from the 17th chapter onwards, we've been looking at a quiz on the Gita. Initially, we took all Gita verses which had a nice example, like the flame covered by smoke, like that. So there were so many examples that Sri Krishna has given. Then we took those verses where Arjuna's name or Krishna's name. And now we are doing chapter wise. And so we have now come to the 5th chapter. So the kind of verses that I have selected are certainly going to be difficult verses, because these chapters we have studied many times. And the verses that I selected are those verses which I looked at it and said, my God, although we have studied it so many times, it still looks very strange. So it is going to be a little difficult. Let us see how we'll understand. Now, the way to do is revise. Like for the next class on Wednesday is going to be chapter 6. So today, Ahalya, if you can read this verse for me.
Namaste. Jneyah sanitya sannyasi yo nadveshti na kankshati nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate.
One person can take and explain what this verse Krishna is trying to give us. What is the meaning of the word Jneyaha? You remember in the 30th chapter?
Beyond pairs of it's,
Go ahead. Who's this?
yeah, who does not hate he who's always a beyond opposite is free bonded endlessly.
Your voice is breaking. Okay. Go ahead.
Without Ka and Resha,
Yeah.
and who's the pairs God free can effortlessly free himself from bondage of samsara.
All right. See, your voice was a little breaking, so we didn't get the message completely. Neyaha, like in the 13th chapter, the word neyam comes, where the word neyam means, that which is worth knowing. And Shri Krishna is saying, what is the essential quality of a sannyasi? And that can be even a grihastha. A grihastha who is a sannyasi has to have 2 qualifications. Yo na dveshti na kankshati. Dveshti means one who hates nobody. I don't dislike anyone. One of the most difficult things to acquire in life is because we always have, everything is okay except one person. Even that one person whom I hate should not be there in my life. Kankshati means that I don't
like besides.
nirdvandvo, one who is beyond the pairs of opposites. Such a person achieves to purnatvam, achieves to happiness. Ahalya, if you can read these word-to-word meaning.
Yaha na kangshate, who does not desire, na dveshti, and does not hate, jneyaha is to be known, nitya sannyasi, as a permanent sannyasi. He, because nirdvandva pramuchyate, one who is beyond the pairs of opposites, completely freed, bandhat, from bondage, sukham, effortlessly.
Please read.
Can a grihastha become free? O Arjuna, he does not desire. Just a second, sir, I'm trying to.
Yeah, take away the pictures.
O Arjuna, he who does not desire and does not hate is to be known as a permanent sannyasi, because one who is beyond the pairs of opposites is completely freed from bondage effortlessly.
A little more detailed explanation. Read one slide. Please read.
Krishna assures Arjuna that it is possible for one to be free even by being a grihastha. As a grihastha, one needs to learn how to manage raga and dvesha. Once he gains this strength, a grihastha becomes like a sannyasi. His house then becomes an ashrama because his life itself becomes a sadhana. Preferences are acceptable, but not to be slave of likes and dislikes. Mastery is making the desires dharmic and non-binding.
Good. So now when you look at this verse, Jneyaha sa nitya sannyasi, yo na dveshti na kangshati, nirdvando hi mahabhavo sukham bandhat pramuchyate. So we will remember this now. So with that, we go to the next verse. Ahalya, please read.
Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate.
Go ahead. Anybody can explain?
Vijitatma is one who has mastered sense organs.
What is it?
Vishuddha.
No. Vijitatma, wrong.
Vijitat
is one who has won over the
Mind.
mind.
Okay.
Yeah, Atma is mind here. Atma is mind here.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Go ahead.
Vishuddhatma, purified mind.
Yeah, purified mind. Okay.
He sees consciousness in himself and sarva bhutatma bhutatma. He sees consciousness in him and in others also, everybody.
All right.
Kurvannapina lipyate. That means he unaffected like the water drop on a lotus leaf.
Very good. Very good. Sukanya, brilliant, full marks. Yoga yukta. What does yoga yukta mean?
Grihastha here.
Yoga yukta.
Karma yogi.
Karma yogi. One who is a karma yogi. That means through karma yogi, you purify your mind. Vishuddhatma. Vijitatma. You become mastery of your body mind. Jitendriya. One who has
senses.
Mastery over the sense organs. Now the next word is very important. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma. See, all of us we declare that I am the Atma in my body. But if you are able to see that I am the Atma in everybody, now that requires a tremendous amount of jump. We are able to see ourselves in ourselves. But if you are able to see yourself in everybody, then you have a vision of a jnani. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvanapi. Although you are doing various forms of actions, na lipyate. You are not affected. You are not bound. That is the meaning. Ahalya, word-to-word meaning.
Vijitatma jitendriyaha. Jitendriyaha, having mastered the body and sense organs. Vishuddhatma, the pure-minded. Yoga yuktaha, karma yogi. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma, The Atma, which is the self of all things, api kurvan, though acting, na lipyate, he is not affected.
Continue.
Sadhanas of Grihastashrama, having mastered the body and sense organs, the pure-minded karma yogi becomes the Atma, which is the self of all beings. Though acting, he is not affected.
Please read.
Sadhanas of Grihastashrama become a karma yogi, the first one. Second one, should shift to spiritual pursuit, mental sannyasi. The focus on what I have must gradually shift to what I am. This balancing is called yoga yuktatvam. Develops a dispassion, vairagya for material objects. Vishuddha Atma. Atma means the mind. The fourth one. The seeker then masters his sense organs, jitendriyaha.
Okay, with this knowledge, let us just look at that verse once again. Yoga yukta, that means with karma yoga. Vishuddhatma, one who has purified the mind. Vijitatma, that means who has won over his body mind. Jitendriya, one who has mastered his sense organs. Now, he is a jnani who is able to see sarva bhutatma bhutatma. He is able to see himself in everybody. Although he does actions, na lipyate, he is not affected, not bound. Beautiful verse. These are all the beautiful verses of the 5th chapter. Ahalya, this verse you have not read. Please read this slide.
Deha abhimana tyaga. Deha abhimana tyaga leads to karma abhimana tyaga. After this disidentification with the body, he is not tainted by his actions because the actions belong to the body and not to the self. The objective jnani accepts God's law. This is detachment.
As we are studying the 18th chapter, you will see there is so much of an overlap between karma yoga and jnana yoga. That means once you become a jnani, you still do karma, but there is so much of a sense of detachment that even though you do karma, you are not affected by it because now you have understood what is inaction in action. Next verse, Ahalya.
Nadatte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukrutam vibuhu ajnane navritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha.
Other than Sukanya, others can. This is verse number 15. Anybody go ahead? Nobody's.
This is a
Jnanam is an angel with
God, the omnipresent God does not involve himself in sinful deeds.
Okay.
word Vibhu in
Because
this.
of the inner knowledge is covered by ignorance.
All right. All right. Dr. Ravi Shankar?
Sir, the word Vibhu
Yeah.
here means the Atma inside the body, the Dehi.
Correct. Correct.
So, Nadatte kasyati papam. There is no papa or punya for the Vibhu for all the activities done. However, for the Jantavaha, the human beings, because of the Ajnana, whatever actions they do because of the body-mind identification, they continue to be in samsara. So the second line is towards samsara and the first line is about the Dehi and the Deha.
Very good. Can I ask you for one more? Can you comment on that word Jantavaha? Jantavaha.
Jantavaha is the word used for the human beings who are who don't know about the Viveka, Atma Viveka.
Yeah,
So,
I think Swamiji and Adi Shankara have commented on that word.
Agnanis. And like man. Agnanis.
What is it?
Ignorant like man.
Mudha, ignorant.
Agnanis.
Can you tell me where in Viveka Chudamani this verse Jantavaha comes?
Jantuna
means animals.
durlabham, jantunam
Correct.
narajanma durlabham.
Absolutely right. Verse number,
In the beginning, sir, it is
right in the beginning. It's verse number 2.
3.
Jantuna.
Okay.
Jantuna. See, the word jantu actually means an animal. So somebody said, no, I think Anupama, somebody said, jantuna means, a lower form of a human being. So the first word, as first two lines, as said by Dr. Ravi Shankar, vibhuhu here means the Atma. That means the Atma here refers in all of us. When you are acting from the perspective of the Atma, you don't incur punya or papa. And the next line is a very often quoted line which says, Ajnana nena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. All of us are vibhuhu. All of us are Atma. But unfortunately, this knowledge that I am Atma is avritam, is covered by ignorance due to Maya. Due to Maya, tena muhyanti. Muhyanti means suffer. And therefore, we are reduced to being subhuman. We don't have the glory of a human being because of ajnanam. So this is the season of Navaratri, and what is covering us is Maya Devi. So we need to get out of Maya Devi through Maya Devi. That is why during Navaratri, we need to worship Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Parvati to help us to get out. Just like if you're fallen into the water, you have to get out of water. So that is the important verse. Ahalya, please read word to word meaning.
Vibhuhu, the Atma, adatte, takes, na papam, neither the papam, na cha eva sukrutam, nor the punyam, kasyachit, of anyone. Jnanam, discrimination, avritam, is veiled, ajnanena, by ignorance, tena, hence, jantavaha, the beings, muhyanti, are deluded.
Does anybody get a picture of where this ajnana comes? You see Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti keeps one leg on apasmara, forgetfulness. Although all of us are Dakshinamurti, we are not aware of this fact because we are enveloped by ignorance. And therefore, jantavaha, we become lower than human beings. Please read, Ahalya.
The Atma takes neither the papam nor the punyam of anyone. Discrimination is veiled by ignorance. Hence, the beings are deluded. Atma does not take anyone's papa or punya. Just as space does not get wet by rain or get burnt by fire. Suffering is caused by our identification with the body, dehabhimana. Reason for this identification is ignorance, ajnana, that envelops our knowledge, jnana. Example, suffering in dream. The only cure for his suffering is waking, knowledge. Shankaracharya says, we as Atma have created these bodies and come down to the earth to play a drama. In fact, we are all avatars, not limited by time or space. However, this drama has become very serious as we have forgotten that it is a drama.
I'll just go back to the verse again. So next time we see this word, nadate kaschit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhuhu ajnanena avritam jnanam pena muhyanti jantavaha. I'm repeating this again and again so that next time when you see this, look at that word vibhu, vibhuhu. Vibhuhu actually means space, limitless. Here it means Atma. So as the Atma, there is no punya or papa. The problem is I have forgotten my true nature because of Maya, Shakti, Ajnanam, which has covered me, and therefore all of us are suffering. Verse 15, we go to the next verse. Please read.
Tad buddhayas tadatmanaha tannishtas tatparayanaha gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha.
Open. A very poetic verse.
Shall I give
Please
a
go
try?
ahead. Go ahead, whoever said it.
Shall I try, sir?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, there are 4 stages of the Atma Jnanam is talked about here.
Yeah.
So Tad Parayanam is keeping Gnanam as the ultimate goal.
Perfect.
And Tad Buddhaya. Tad Buddhaya is knowing that I am the consciousness.
Good.
Tad Manaha is owning up that, I am the consciousness.
Yes.
So from Gnanam to Gnananishta starts, and the final stage is
Tannishta.
Tannishta is the Nididhyasanam.
Okay.
And after one achieves all of this, then they will get rid of all the impurities. So kalmashaha, so gnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. And once they get rid of all the impurities, they get to a state of no return. So which is the complete moksha and videha mukti.
Apunaravrittim.
Apunaravrittim. So there is no point of return, which is the videha mukti.
Excellent. Can you do the reading now? You do the reading because please read this one.
In summary, the 4 stages of sadhanas, the value of discovering the higher self, tat parayanaha, discovering the higher self, tat buddhaya, learning to identify with the higher self, tadatmanaha, and disidentifying with the lower self, tannishtaha.
Very good. Dr. Ravi Shankar, you also presented this verse. Do you want to add anything?
These are the 4 values, sir. Nothing more to add, sir. Everything is covered.
Thank you. Ahalya, can you read again so that we, I want to ingrain all this in our head. Please read, Ahalya.
Tad buddhayaha, those who have the knowledge of that Brahman, tadatmanaha, who have that Brahman as the Atma, tannishtaha, who are established in that Brahman, tat parayanaha, who have that Brahman as the supreme goal.
Look at the words again. Remember the word tat parayanaha. That means we begin from here. All of us should have the vision that I want to attain Atma Jnanam. So that is the vision that we have. The final is tannishtaha. The tannishtaha means when you are established in the Atma. Tat buddhaya, I work towards it. Tat atmanaha, I keep that in my mind. And then what happens? Ahalya, read.
Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha, and whose impurities are completely destroyed by knowledge. Gachanti, attain, apunaravrittim, the goal of non-return. Those who know the knowledge of that Brahman, who have that Brahman as the Atma, who are established in that Brahman, who have that Brahman as the supreme goal, and whose impurities are completely destroyed by knowledge, attain the goal of non-return.
So there are 4 sadhanas, or 4 important words. Tat parayanaha, that means first keep that as your goal. Tat buddhayaha, through various sadhanas, karma yoga, upasana yoga, jnana yoga. And once through Shravanam, it comes into your mind. Tat atmanaha, it comes to my mind. Then through Nidithyasanam, then it becomes a Nishta. All these 4 can be elaborated in 4 different slides. Can you read, Ahalya?
The value of the pursuit to have the obsession, my own higher self, Tat, is the goal of my life. He is called Tat Parayanaha. This amounts to identifying with the higher self instead of Ahankara, finding PHS not from external factors but in spite of external conditions. This inner freedom, moksha, nothing bothers me now. This is inner freedom, moksha, and nothing bothers me now. His efforts now will shift to dropping the dependent lower self and discovering the higher self.
Okay, this is Tat Parayana, which is our goal. Then we need to work on it. Tad Buddhayaha. Please, what is this Tad Buddhayaha? Read.
Tad Buddhayaha, discovering the higher self. Works in the new direction. He goes through Karma Yoga and then Jnana Yoga. Even after discovering the higher self, Through the scriptures, one continues to identify with the body-mind complex because it is very difficult to give up this association. This is called Dehatma Vasana. One has to also renounce that identification, Abhimana.
Okay, so there is one step before Tanishtaha, and that is Tad Manaha. Please read.
Learning to identify with the higher self, Tat Manaha, the practice of shifting the identification to the higher self takes the longest time among all of the sadhanas. Sannyasashrama is meant only to facilitate this disidentification by cutting off all relationships. As a grihastha, having acquired the jnana, one should deliberately play the role of a husband, wife, etc., while identifying with the self. This is nididhyasana. In this third stage, all of one's activities become role playing.
There is one more step left. What is that?
Tanishta.
Tanishtaha. Please read.
Disidentifying with the lower self, Tanishtaha. As the fourth step in the sadhana, one deliberately practices dropping the identification with the lower self. When the transformation is complete, it is called Tanishtaha. Tanishtaha.
Thank you. What we'll do is we'll just take a look at that verse. If somebody gives us this verse, Tad Buddhayaha, Tad Atmana Manas, Manaha, Tanishtaha, Tat Parayanaha, Gachanti Apunaravrittim, Jnana Nirduta Kalmashaha. All right. So now, Kalmashaha means impurity. Give rid of all the impurity through Jnanam. So there is no coming back, but there are 4 sadhanas that we need to work on. So we go to one more verse. Ahalya, please read.
Prahrishyet priyam prapya, nodvijet prapya chapriyam, stira buddhi rasam moodaha, brahmavit brahmani stitaha.
Open, except to Sukanya. Anybody else?
One who is knower of Brahman, having gained, he will not feel elated or apriyam prapya, na udvijet. He will not feel sad for not getting whatever he expected. Sthira buddhihi. Brahmavid brahmani sthitaha. He is always, his mind is in Brahman. Means sthira buddhihi. He knows what is Atma and Anatma, asammudaha.
Very good, very good. Brahmavid, the knower of Brahman, and Brahmani stitaha, who is the stita prajna, whose buddhi and manas is now stiraha. For such a person, he is in a stita prajna. Priyam prapya, one who attains something pleasant, na prashet. He is not elated. No dvijet, nor does he feel sorry. Prapya apriyam, when he gets something unpleasant. Madam Rama, can you tell me asammodaha? Where else in the Bhagavad Gita asammodaha comes?
No, I don't remember.
Yo mam eva asammodaha. Continue.
Janati Purushottamam.
Very good. Janati Purushottamam. Sukanya again. Na? 19th verse.
15th chapter.
Very good. 19th verse of the 15th chapter. Please read this, Ahalya.
Prapya priyam, facing the pleasant, na prahrishyet, he is not elated. Na cha prapya apriyam, and facing the unpleasant, na udvijit, he is not depressed. Brahmavit, a knower of Brahman, sthira buddhihi, is firm in knowledge, asammudaha, free from delusion, stitaha brahmani, and is established in Brahman.
Read.
The jnani's perspective in this life. Facing the pleasant, he is not elated, and facing the unpleasant, he is not depressed. A knower of Brahman is firm in knowledge, free from delusion, and is established in Brahman.
Please read.
The Jnani, after gaining the knowledge, continues to live this world until his prarabdha karma is exhausted. His life is governed by the same laws that govern the life of an ignorant person also. Our lives are governed by three factors: environment, desha, time, kala, and prarabdha. Even when the first two are exactly the same for a group of people, prarabdha is variable and unique to an individual. Therefore, the jnani will go through ups and downs in his life. His knowledge is that it gives him the ability to give a balanced response to any situation, samatvam.
Continue.
A jnani knows that the experiences are caused by desha, kala, prarabdha. He knows that they come and go. He is balanced. Prarabdha is a situation that presents no choice. Therefore, instead of wasting the effort to change the situation, one will benefit by changing his attitude. When one acquires this conviction, he will never ask, "Why me?" Instead, whenever the problem comes, one understands that one gets what one deserves. It must be remembered that everything works according to the law of karma.
Thank you. We will do just one more, although I have kept two more verses. You will see how many beautiful verses are there in the 5th chapter dealing with Jnana Yoga. Okay, last verse for today. Ahalya, please read.
बाह्यस्पर्शेष्वसक्तात्मा विन्दत्यात्मनि यत्सुखं स ब्रह्मा योगयुक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते.
Open to anybody.
Jnani is not.
Other than Sukanya, somebody else.
Jnani enjoys both Atmananda and Vishayananda.
Okay.
Bahya sparshosh means external object.
Correct.
Asaktatma, not attached with mind.
Very good. Very good.
And Vindatyatmani. Vindat means attains. So Atmani yat sugam. That is in Atma.
Okay.
Sa Brahma Yoga Yuktatma means Jnani is all time meditating upon Brahman, and he enjoys that Brahmananda or Atmananda also.
Very good. Very good. Sukanya, you can add to this.
Yeah. One who is interested in external sense objects, he faces only sorrow. The next line, one who's anchored in Brahman, he has permanent peace of mind.
Bahya-sparseshu asaktatma means one who is not
correct.
Not interested.
One who is not interested, one who is not dependent on any joys where there is contact with matra sparsha. So there is no contact related or vishayananda. Vindate atmani yat sukham. But who is anchored in atmananda? Such a person, sa brahma yoga yuktatma, sukham akshayam ashnute. You know, akshaya, that sukham that he's got cannot be destroyed. It is all long lasting. So, Ahalya?
Atmananda, the highest happiness. One whose mind is not engaged in external objects attains the Ananda which is in Atma. He whose mind is engaged in the meditation of Brahman attains lasting Ananda.
Read.
The Jnani's happiness that he derives from his higher nature. Atmananda is superior to all the Anatmananda put together. The Jnani, whose mind is endowed with Brahma Jnana, has psychological independence. He enjoys Anatma as long as it is there. And when Anatma goes away, he draws happiness from Atma like using UPS. Atmananda, the highest happiness.
We'll stop for today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Namudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.